momentum that you got the win over Missouri, going to Alabama. But I guess how important is this upcoming game to kind of get some of that momentum back and upcoming the big week you guys have next week?
I'm not a big believer in momentum as it relates to one game to the next. I believe in in-game momentum, but I don't know if it travels. I don't know if it stands the shelf life of day to day. We didn't play good in Tuscaloosa and deserve to be beaten, quite frankly. When you look at it statistically, I was amazed that we had a lead late and then we weren't able to make the plays. We always talk about that. In the games that we've won, especially on the road, it's come down to a play here, play there, and somebody has to make a play. And we didn't make them. And Trevor Relaford, we put ourselves in a position where one shot beats you. And unfortunately for us, that's happened 3 times this year, and the kid hit it.
When you get to this point in the season, how much does it take out of you? You get down early, and you have to expend all that energy to make it up and get ahead, and then it happens.
I just didn't think we played well. However you slice it. When you look at it statistically, again, you can't go on the road and shoot in the mid to upper 30s from the field. You can't get out rebounded. Defensively, we were unable to stay in the game. I thought defensively we were pretty sound, and then we let their all-league caliber guy score the last 16 points of the game for them.
Are people doing anything differently with Jarvis as they start to get more of a scouting report on who he has become?
What's funny, I met with Jarvis earlier, and I just need Jarvis to play with energy, with pop. I can't allow the grind, and I talk about that. I can't allow that to wear him down. I didn't feel like he played to the standard that we've become accustomed, because I think he's played like an all-league player. He was not on his best game at Alabama. Marshall continues to struggle on the road with shooting. And if you're not getting second, third chance opportunities off the offensive glass, which we weren't, then ultimately you're not going to be able to manufacture enough to give yourself a chance. When you hold the home team under 70, you got to feel like, okay, we got to have a chance to win. But again, offensively, we just weren't very good.
Despite the loss you've talked about, despite the loss, the position really hadn't changed for the NCAA tournament. Is it still about the opportunities that are there in front of you? You got big ones.
Well, we've got 7 left. When I'm done with you guys, I'm going to address our team about. Well, I've got a lot of responsibilities as the head coach here, but I think one of the biggest is to lend perspective. And we're to the point in the season where a week from yesterday, the SEC tournament starts, or excuse me, a month. And that's hard to believe for me, that we've got 7 games left, and there's a lot of opportunities for us moving forward. And again, perspective is certainly valuable at this time of year, in that if last year taught us nothing, it's just truly about focusing on the next opportunity. And as long as you have games, you've got opportunity, and that's got to be the mindset of this group.
Andy, with Jarvis, he's changed his game so much to become a more complete scorer. Because of that, does it make it more difficult for him to kind of carry that to the finish of the season?
I don't know. He's certainly in a different position than he's ever been in before. We've always rode him hard minutes, and we've asked him to run our club. This year we're asking him to make game-winning plays. So that certainly takes a toll on you physically. But I think mentally he's up to the challenge. He's a junior in our program. He's played in big games. He's had big moments. And I know he wants to be in that position. Now it's just a matter of going out and actually making the plays.
Do you think the minutes have now started to take a toll on Jarvis physically?
I don't think so. I think that most every team at this time of the year is going to go through some bumps and bruises, and just because they're players, they're all susceptible to the same flu-like, the colds and the flu and everything that happens with this weather. So we just got to be smart in making sure that we take care of them and put them in the position where we can get to the game at full strength. It doesn't mean that we got to stop practicing, and sometimes I've got to remind our guys of that. We got to get better. This team has to improve. I've got a 5th-year senior in Marshall and a junior in Jarvis that have played heavy minutes, but nobody else on our team have ever been in the position that I'm asking for them to carry on today. So we've got to practice. We've got to get better. We've got to improve as a team if we have any realistic goal of reaching the postseason at any level. We've got to improve.
You talked about Anthony Perez needing to play bigger. He did that a couple times against Alabama, kind of in the paint a little bit. How important is that, I guess, moving forward for him to have that kind of play style?
He's another guy that went from, this time last year, he was an afterthought. He was a practice player, didn't get in the game, and now, if you look, his minutes have really increased, especially with newbies, his absence. We're down to 11 scholarship guys. A couple of those freshmen don't play that much, obviously. So I'm playing him heavy minutes, close to 30 minutes a game. playing him at the 3, playing him at the 4. He's got to accept that responsibility. His talent is certainly good enough to help us. Now he's got to reflect on the last 3-4 weeks where he's been put in that position and continue to grow through the experience. Confidence wanes at times. He's not as assertive as I would like for him to be, because I think at times, matchup-wise, he's a prominent option for us offensively. And then defensively, when I play him at the 4, we've got to do a better job off the glass, because if we don't shore up these rebounding woes, we're putting ourselves in a position where, unless we make every shot like we did against Missouri, it's going to be hard to win.
What do you see in Georgia?
A team that has found its way. They're 11-2 at home, 5-1 in league play. They've done a good job of protecting home floor. They were similar to us in the respect that last year it was about Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, the best player in our league. He leaves, so now they've got a kid in Charles Mann who they've asked to, okay, you played last year, now we need you to make the play. A Marcus Thornton, a Kenny Gaines, guys that were all players last year, but now they are prominent in whether or not the Bulldogs win or lose. And it took them a little while, I think, in the non-league to figure that out. Once they've gotten into league play, they're playing really well. They went into Mississippi State last night and dominated the game for the last 30 minutes. So we're playing a club that's playing good. Both of us at 7-4. They've done a really good job of protecting their home floor. So we've got to go in and make sure that we take the right approach.
Their post play was pretty good last night, it looked like, and you guys were good against Missouri, not so good against Alabama. Is that a function of experience and growth, or home and away?
And a lot of it, if you looked at our home and away numbers, and Daniel does a good job, he's got them for you if you wanted to see them, but it's staggering in some of our guys. Not only the Jarvises and the Marshalls, the guys that we expect to be more consistent, the numbers are vastly different home and away and front court wise. In our wins, Sebas and AJ are getting us like 15-15 and about 3.5. In our losses, and again, they've all been on the road, so it's easy to correlate. They're getting about half that production. That, coupled with a really inept shooting percentage, makes for long nights, and that's what we've experienced some on the road. We've got to shore those things up, and we've got to become more consistent, and you would hope that as we continue to drive that message and as guys get more experience, the AJs, the Sebases, you would hope that those numbers would change and we can become more consistent so that ultimately we can get the result we want.
You worry about your guys at all looking ahead to next week? I mean, those games get so much hype that you guys got to obviously road game.
Next week games really don't have the significance if we don't, find a way to grind through some of these. We've got 4 home games, I guess, and 3 on the road, and we've got to win games. And Saturday's the next opportunity to do that.
What do you see from DeMarco coming off the bench? He kind of give you a spark against Alabama.
Yeah, with Bear, his minutes have been up and down. I trust him because he's been in the program. To me, it's all about production. The guys that I'm playing up front, I'm just searching for production. I'm searching for rebounds per minute. I'm searching to give us a presence at the basket, to finish layups, to make free throws, simple things. We don't ask our bigs to do a lot for us, much like different than last year when we were going to Murph and asking him to make a play, or Reggie, we were running offense through him because of his ability to read out of the post. We don't ask these guys to do that because they're not ready to do that just yet. But we do ask them, they've got to defend, they've got to rebound, and they've got to be proficient block to block. And the guys that play are the guys that are doing it on that night. That's why we're kind of we play 4 different guys in there dependent upon who's producing.
How's Terry Brutus doing?
You know what, he's in there on crutches. I don't know if you saw him, but the knee is doing okay. He had an ankle situation on the same knee. It bothered him some last year, and they think when he went down with the ACL, I didn't see it, that he further damaged the ankle. He had to go in and had some surgery on his ankle. I don't even know if y'all knew that, a few weeks ago. So and it's same leg, which is going to really set back his rehab. We've got plenty of time. My hope is that he'll be fine. He obviously is a big, strong young kid, and we hope that he'll be able to make a full recovery. But he has had a little setback in his rehabilitation based on the ankle.
How's Martavius progressing?
He's been doing good. I think he's going to be cleared for basketball stuff here soon, maybe as early as next week. And then once we get out there and they put like a soft cast on him where he can catch and move, and once we get to that stage, we'll know when we can put him back in a game.
Did you anticipate having him for those games next week?
He hadn't been in practice yet, so I hadn't really thought about him. Until I see him in practice, then we'll make a determination.